I'm going to get a little personal on you guys. It's not that personal, but it's just something that when I was about 25, I was not seeing a guy. We were hanging out. And I really, really wanted this relationship to go somewhere. And when it didn't, I felt really crushed by that. And somebody suggested, you can talk to someone through EAP, which is the Employee Assistance Program. So I went just for one meeting with someone who's a counselor, and she had me tell, why I was there and everything. And then she said, "What are your goals?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I have my college degree and I'm working, and really, I've achieved my goals. I feel like, because your thing made me think this way." And she said, "Well, what I suggest for you is you think about what you want out of your life and do those things. And if someone's willing to come along on that, that's fine. But if they're not, that's okay, because you're still doing what you want to do." So really, that was my advice, and it's been a blessing, I think. It was something I'd never thought of before, because, we do go through a process, and I think getting married was probably next on my list, And I think it was better to realize what else I wanted to do, and that's why I chose to go to Europe. And I went with a couple of friends, and we had a great time. As luck would have it, I had just started dating who would become my husband, and so by the time the trip rolled around, we were just missing each other terribly, and we're about 8 hours different in time, and so it was really hard to even talk on the phone. We didn't have mobile phones. It was like trying to find a payphone. So, but that's a good kind of agony, I think, and I just suggest that everybody find what you want to do and make sure that you do that, and then just the rest of it will fall into place. Miss, do you have a couple?
Thank you very much, Tracy.
And guests are eligible for this question. Just to let you know, I'm not saying you have to do it, but you are eligible if you choose you want to. Just to keep that in the back of your mind.
No, I let him go because I'm doing this.
Okay, go.
You can set
I'll
and
take
you
care
got
of
time.
it. Don't worry.
All right. And so, Nick, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're on red. And then you got my phone, or you got?
Yeah, I got your phone.
You good?
Mm-hmm, we're good.
Okay, so at 23, as a man, I was still really wanting more adventure. I definitely did not want to settle down at that time. I felt like I didn't want to settle down until my 30s. So the one thing I tried to do was I tried to travel abroad. One thing that I've noticed since I've traveled, I've gone to about 12 different countries, and the thing that I really noticed with people who travel, they get an awareness of what's outside the world. You don't need to go to abroad, but just go to a different state. If you can go to Canada, go to Canada. You're going to come back here and you're going to be like, you're going to have a different perspective, outlook on Sacramento. We actually live in a good, centrally located city. Lots of food, close locations to the snow, San Francisco. We have nice wine, if you're interested. It compares to any wine out in the world. So that will give you a perspective on what you have in life here. And it'll also set you up for other stories. And well, when you travel, you go through certain hardships. Not every time that you travel is easy. So I'd say go abroad, go to a different state, meet people, experience life. So, and then through experiencing life, you'll find that your life is a blessing. While you're traveling, be cool to others. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. All right. Can we get a timer's report?
We have a few. We need a few more.
Oh, a few more? Okay. Should I keep the question open?
Keep it open.
All right. I still appreciate the advice that we've been getting so far. And I'm sure there's a lot of great other advice to contribute to blessings out there. So anybody else? Dr. G?
Is it okay? Because I'm already doing an
it's
evaluation.
Okay. Don't worry, it's okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. Let's welcome Dr. G. Thank you very much.
My most dreaded surgeon in internal medicine was Dr. Axelrod. and he was a brilliant radiologist in addition to being an excellent surgeon. Now, I really could not read x-rays. So when I went down there, he was doing rounds with me, and he put an x-ray and he said, "Okay, Dr. G, what does this x-ray show?" And I just blundered. I didn't know what. So he started shouting at me, and I said, "It's okay. He's shouting, just be quiet and listen." So the chief of radiology came outside, and he looked at me, and I was hardly 21 years old. You know, most American medical graduates are way number of years older than me. So they used to call me "Hey kiddo," not even "Hey doctor." So this particular chief of radiology, he looked at me and he said, "How old are you?" And I told him how old I am. And he said, "Don't let that man intimidate you. What I want you to do is hereafter in the afternoon, come after your internal medicine rounds, come to radiology and I will teach you x-rays." And I had a little baby, and I would send him with a babysitter and still go and learn the x-rays from this wonderful soul. And tell me, and you know, he got me so interested in radiology that after I finished my residency in internal medicine, I did a fellowship in radiology. And you know what? The benefit of being able to read your own x-rays, you are so confident. You don't need to go and ask anybody for a second opinion. And I was so glad that Dr. Axelrod shouted at me so that I learned something so valuable for me. That was a blessing.
All right, let's do one more. So we'll have Mark come up here. I love it. I appreciate all the advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Around the age of 21 or so, I was working for Vons. There's a supermarket in Southern California. I was a checker. I was working in the dairy section, but I came up and checked from time to time. And really, but I wasn't full-time. And really my goal during that time was really just to find work, just to find, you know, I thought a good job that was full-time and some benefits, because at that time I didn't have any benefits. But how can I say this? I kind of grew up in the 70s where I didn't think that that I could learn a skill. I thought you either had it or you didn't, kind of like Superman. Either you have the power or you don't. Like my cousin, who I grew up with, who was very smart, very athletic, very good looking, he had it. He had all the factors. And I'm going, you know, I wasn't really good at track, I wasn't really good at football, I didn't have it. So I'm trying to figure out what do I get? And that is the point in life I was at. I was trying, I just wanted a job so I could support myself. But the core of me was trying to figure out, what is it that I have? Because, you look at me, I'm just like an average guy, and I didn't really have any skills. I wasn't smart, really that smart. And I didn't realize that, later on when I got in my late 20s, is that, like you mentioned earlier, we have to find the things and seek out those things that we are good at in life. And if we don't take the chance to seek out those things, then we will never know what gifts we have. So it was that point in my life where I was seeking out later on in my late 20s, and my cousin, who had all the X factors going on, he said, "Mark, why don't you go to Toastmasters with me one night?" And I did, and it changed the way I saw things. And I finally, for the first time in my life, saw something that I could contribute with. It was the first time. Because I wasn't that smart. But I said, you know what, I can do this. And I put in the time. So keep looking for that unhidden treasure that you have, because we all have that unhidden treasure. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think I just wanted to recap all our responses we got really quick. I think that was great advice, and really appreciate some of the more experienced adults in the room sharing their wisdom with us young ones. And I heard some great things, I really resonated with the travel and make sure you're finding your goals and seek your gifts. and make sure that you're confident and not intimidated by others. So I really appreciate all of that advice.